Good afternoon, everybody. It's Graham once again from Unearthed and another episode of Detecting Talk from the vehicle. You will probably realise that Melanie's in today for some minor procedure. And I do thank everybody for the well wishes and the messages and the emails and texts that we've had and the telephone calls, which is very nice. She'll be probably next week's a main op, and then she will be having some treatment after that, and then hopefully on the road to recovery pretty quick. The NHS have been absolutely fabulous, I have to say. I mean, they're just unbelievably good. Anybody that criticises the NHS needs to give their head a wobble, because they're just fantastic people. They've been so quick. Right, on to the main topic. Now, a lot of you people that watch this are new to detecting, and this is probably aimed at you, although even the seasoned detectorists might get a little glimmer of information which is handy from this particular film. So we'll start by our friends the farmers. So without the farmers and landowners, we'd be pretty much knackered with regards to detecting, and without our friends, our friendly farmers, we wouldn't be able to find the things we do and enjoy the hobby in such a way. So just a brief discussion about landowners and farmers in general, and some of my early escapades out in the fields, how things can go wrong quickly if you're not careful, and what to look for and what to do and not what to do is the main topic of this film. So let's crack on with it. The the one that sticks out in my mind is a particular incident that happened to me many moons ago, probably when I was probably around about 20 years of age, so it would have been around about 1990, and we were attending a rally in East Anglia, and it was the Burr Castle rally. Some people pronounce it a bit different, so I class it as that, which is the Roman fort, the Saxon Shore fort, and there was a 2-day rally many moons ago, which we attended, but we decided to go down a few days earlier to see if we could get some permission locally or around the area in East Anglia, to see if we could, enjoy maybe a 3 or 4 day detecting session, which turned out to be very difficult even in the early 90s to get permission, because the landowners at the time were sick of getting door knocked by groups of detectorists trying to get on. However, we did find one farm that was semi-reluctant to let us on initially, but then decided to let the four of us on detecting, which was fantastic. It worked pretty well, and we found a few nice things, including hammered coins, crotal bells, Georgian silver cufflinks, and beehive thimbles, if I remember rightly. And then the farmer said to us, "You can come back if you want. Feel free to come back," because we showed him the stuff we found. We actually gave him some of the finds and the coins and things. He was very excited about the history that had come off his land. So after the rally had finished, the 2-day rally, we decided to, on the way back home, to go back on to the farm, and we had a couple of guests with us, guest detectorists, and things started going slightly pear-shaped. Now, the farmer was quite interested on how a detector works and how we dig our holes. Now, it was ploughed land, and we took a couple of people on with us at the time who decided that they wouldn't fill the holes in. So in their minds, and these were seasoned detectorists, these guys had been detecting for some time, so it just goes to show what sort of bad habits that they picked up. But they were digging holes and signals all over the place and just leaving them. And after about 5 or 10 minutes, I seen the farmer come out of his bungalow, which was right next to the field we were detecting in, looking at all the fields, looking at all the holes that had been dug, and it was pretty much like a bomb site. And I can remember him shouting and bawling and thinking, I thought, God, what's going on? Went over to see him. He said, well, on Friday or Thursday when you came, there wasn't this mess, and there wasn't the number of people that was with you. You've brought an extra couple of people, which is a big mistake. We should have told him, but we didn't tell him. So, there's one mistake that we made at the time. We thought it was okay for us to bring a couple of guests with us, and we obviously wasn't. So we confronted the detectorist in question that were making the holes, and he was saying, well, it's ploughed land, it's going to get ploughed back in at some point in the future. What's he worried about? You know, it's them holes are not going to be there forever. It's going to be ploughing it over soon, and you won't better see where we've been. That isn't the way forward. They've got to leave the fields, even though they're ploughed, pretty much like you found them. And the thing is with stubble as well, people sometimes with stubble fields will leave the holes wide open, thinking, oh, well, it's arable land, it'll get ploughed back in, you won't better see the mess I'm making now. It's wrong. Believe me, farmers watch. Farmers always watch. And there was a farmer friend, he'll be watching this now actually, a farmer friend who's a full-time farmer and detectorist, was on the phone to me yesterday, and he triggered my memory by saying farmers never ever stop watching. No matter what you're doing, detectorist-wise, they'll always be watching somewhere what you're up to, making sure you're doing the right thing. So if you leave something, a gate open, or you leave a bit of a mess, or you leave a hole unattended, the junk on the top of the surface, at some point that landowner who's give you permission will notice that, and chances are the next time you go detecting, that permission is no longer yours. You've got to be whiter than white in the hobby. You've got to make sure, absolute sure, that you do the right thing. Leave the farm fields as you found them. Don't make any mess. Doesn't matter if it's arable land, stubble, plough. Make sure you fill your holes in afterwards. Even on rallies when I've been attending, which is very rare, but even in the past when I've attended rallies on ploughed land, on agricultural, stubble fields and ploughed fields, etc. People have, even on drilled fields when farmers have let you on when it's just been seeded, people have left the holes wide open. Well, that'd be all right. It's horrible to get filled back in. Wrong. It's a wrong attitude to have. It's laziness for one. But you've got to think of the landowner. He doesn't want to go back around. He might go on his quad or whatever and come round the field for a walk, whatever he might do. Look at his livestock, whatever, and he sees the mess that detectorists have made. He ain't going to let you back on. And then, of course, it ties detectorists with we're all the same. It ties us all with the same brush. And then the next thing we know, we're not getting on the land that we want to get on. So it was an interesting conversation I had yesterday with the gentleman farmer, and he triggered that memory for me. That farmer in East Anglia, he was not keen on us going back on either, because a few years later we went back down into East Anglia to detect, and we knocked on the farm, and he was very, very reluctant to let us on. So I think he remembered us. He did remember us from the first time we'd gone on. Things were okay on the Thursday, Friday, because there was only a couple of us. When we brought a couple of guests back a few days later that we met on the rally, things changed. Our fault. We should have notified the farmer that was going to be a few more detectorists on the land, 2 more. Or was it 1 more? It might have even only been 1. There might have been a couple of us and a third guest. But even then, we should have door knocked. We were only young. We thought we were okay. We got on very well with the farmer at the start, and it ended a bit pear-shaped. So there you go, folks. That is a little bit of advice: is make sure you fill your holes in, no matter what the sort of condition the land's in. Farmers always watch. Excuse me. Farmers always watch. Now, changing the subject slightly, a lot of people are asking if there's going to be a continuation of the metal detecting film that we did, or series that we did, or pilot we did last year, which was the Henry Cole's Great British Treasure Hunt. Just to let you know, because we're getting a lot of emails and messages, and even on social media, asking if it's going to continue. There is work going on behind the scenes, I will say, to see if we can go to series with ITV. So keep an eye out for that. We don't know what stage it's at now. We are trying, or the production company are trying their hardest to get this up and running. So watch this space. There is a chance that it could happen. And at the end of this film, you'll see a short film of myself in a new upcoming film, which is a bit of a fantasy film, and it's directed by a gentleman called Dale Gowan, and his sub-director is a gentleman called Dave Taylor. They've both put this film together, and there you go. You'll see it at the end of this film. Let me know what you think of it. It's coming soon. So there you are. Right, everybody, I hope you've enjoyed that. Leave a comment or two if you can. Thanks for all the well wishes. I don't think I forgot anything. Next episode of Detecting Talk will be sometime next week, where we'll be featuring, hopefully, fingers crossed, some new products, again, for the millionth time. Okay, thank you for watching. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.
you go to Troy, glory will be yours. The world will remember your name.
Achilles! Never hesitate. Get up into Troy.